Hello and welcome back to Breaking Down Buhurt. I'm Sean Roberon, one of the members of Vermont Armored Combat located in Brattleboro, Vermont. I haven't been on in quite a while. I think it's been about a month and a half, and the reason for that is just because I've been recovering from shingles. It's really, really bad. It stinks. It hurts a lot. Uh, Almost was worried I was going to go blind or that I had cancer in my brain. It was a lot of very scary things, but it turned out to be shingles that lasted for about a month, and so I'm still recovering a little bit of pain here and there, but feeling much better in comparison to what I was at. So today on Breaking Down Buhurt, I wanted to talk about just some of the events that Vermont Armored Combat has coming up. There's a few of them in September, and also about some of the folks that we've got at our club, and how we've been growing in numbers, and who these people are. So we've got the Rookie Rumble, which is coming up September 7th, and that's being hosted by the Knights Hall, which is a really cool group that's located down in Nashua, New Hampshire. The Knights Hall, they actually just went to Germany to take part in an event called Way of Honor, which is really cool. And they're coming back and next week on September 7th and that entire week. And so if you're a fighter and you're interested in being involved in the big party that they end up having over the course of that entire week, go to it. But on September 7th, they're doing the Rookie Rumble, which is a cool thing that they do every single year around this time, where they have all the fighters who haven't been partaking in the sport for a very long time. I think the cutoff is 2 years. So once you've been in armor and your first official fight ever happened, 2 years from then is when you can't partake in Rookie Rumble anymore. And so we've got, I think right now, four members at least, maybe 5 members from Vermont Armored Combat who are planning on going and participating in Rookie Rumble, which is really cool. We're very excited to have such a presence at one of these events rather than just one person from the group potentially going or something. This will be actually a pretty big footprint that we'll have there, being able to represent our club. And and they'll be doing a bunch of events such as the Rookie Rumble itself. Like there's a free-for-all event that happens where one person starts in the list, and we've talked about the list before, the area in which the fighters fight in, and one person starts in, and then another person gets sent in, and then just there's a list of the people who are going to be joining in, who are part of the Rookie Rumble, and they just get sent in one after the other every I don't know if it's every couple like 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, I don't know. But every once in a while they send in another fighter, regardless of what's been happening with everybody else who's already in there, and the last person standing wins. And then they've also got this Warlord tournament, which is really cool, where they have fights, and then like one person fights another one person, and whoever wins that fight is now a Warlord. And then 2 other people fight, and whoever wins, that is the Warlord. And then those 2 groups of people like fight another 2 people, and then it just keeps going like that until the numbers split everybody in half, and then they have a big battle, like a melee battle between those 2 groups, which is very exciting. And then there will also be duels and night fights and all types of other stuff over the course of that week and during the Rookie Rumble itself. So really exciting. Check it out at the Knights Hall if you can. This event, though, will be happening at Ye Olde Commons down in Charlton, Mass. But the Knights Hall are the ones who host it. So check it out. Then we've got the Vernon Community Market, which is September 19th, 4:30 until 7. We went there last year, and they had us just do a few duels, and it was really just Colby and I, and you've seen Colby before on the show. Colby and I did some duels against each other, and our team founder, Will. They were there to kind of manage the fights and watch them, and the public really enjoyed the fights, the displays that we were able to put on. So we're coming back this year, I think, with a few more people, so we'll be able to actually have some more fights this time and give fighters breaks, which will be great. But very cool to be able to be going back there again and being able to show the community what Vermont Armored Combat is all about. And so our folks in Armored Combat in Vermont here, we've gone in the last year from like 3 people in armor with like 1 other person or 2 other people at most ever at a practice. Even before that, like when I joined in, there was really just 3 other people, and they were all sporadic in how often they would meet. And then over this last year, we've grown tremendously. We now have, I believe, 9 people who have full steel kits. Which is really cool. Like, we just had a practice yesterday. It was my first time back in over a month and a half, and it was a blast being able to fight again. But we had 6 people there in armor, all able to have fights, and it was great being able to take part in a fight, have your couple of rounds, and then actually take a break. Even though it was just a practice, it felt like almost like a little event because there were 6 of us there. 2 people would go, and then once they were done, 2 other different people would go, and then once they were done, the other 2 different people would go, and people would be able to rotate against whoever they wanted to fight against, and it was a lot of fun, and it was a blast after spending a month and a half away from it. But yeah, so we've grown tremendously, and but we haven't lost our heart of what Vermont Armored Combat is all about. We've got a few new people have started joining into the club as well, which is really exciting. We're always excited to have new people coming in, learning about our club, making sure that anybody who's interested in getting involved with us kind of fits the mold, and that everybody flows with one another and has a similar mindset. So then that way we don't have to worry down the road of people butting heads over whatever issues they might end up having with one another. If we all have like similar ideals, then everything kind of flows. And so it makes our club very easy to be inside of. Everybody feels really supported in our group. So yeah. And I also want to talk about some of the other clubs that we're aware of around New England that we would encourage people to check out. Because some people live a couple hours away from us. Like, some people are taking quite a drive to get to us, which is too bad that that's the closest option that they have. But it is the reality. There's the Northern Horde, which is in Boston. They're awesome. They've taken part in some of the events that we've even hosted around this area, and we plan on being able to go down to them and take part in some of the fun rooftop fights that they host, where you'll actually be on top of a really big building somewhere in Boston and being able to do our fights up there. Terrifies me a little bit because I'm afraid of heights, but hopefully the rings are right in the center of the roof. That won't be that bad for me then. Yeah, there's the Northern Horde in Boston. They're a really cool group of people, and we've hung out with some of them and taken part in fights with them. And then we've got the Reavers, who are in Portland, Maine. They're another really cool group that we've known. And so if you're closer to the main area, if that's more of like your region, I would recommend to reach out to them so you can get involved with a cool group and be able to take part in fights with us. Because if you're involved with any of these groups that I'm naming, you're a group that we usually bounce around with and take part in events with. And so, so there's the Portland Reavers. Really cool group. And then there's the Knights Hall in Nashua, which is the closest group to us when it comes to driving distance. But they definitely still have very different crowds when it comes to just geography, like where they're all coming from. Like in Nashua, they're getting a lot of like the northern Massachusetts or southern New Hampshire people, and we get a lot of just the Vermont people, or even northern New Hampshire or Vermont. We hit up some of them. We've had a few people come who are even coming from New York, but and there is a group in New York, but it's just, even though it's in New York, we were still the closer group to go to for those individuals. But yeah, so there's the Knights Hall, the Portland Reavers, and the Northern Horde that I just want to shout out to, because those are just some of the groups that we've really taken part in events with, and really feel a lot of like community with them because of our connections with them. So thank you to those groups that we've hosted events with, or taken part in the events that they've done, or vice versa. Besides that, I just wanted to thank the community, because anybody inside of Armored Combat who I've talked with about coming back into the sport, a lot of support, a lot of like glad to see me recovering and knowing that that I'm going to be there again. And so I'm very much looking forward to getting into a fight with you at some point. And thank you very much to Sidestream Studios for continuing to be our venue sponsor, like the place that allows us to have a place to practice. It's really cool having them to fall back on, knowing that we've got that indoor space on Sundays that we know is there for us. So thank you for that. And then also thank you to Cobco Arena Games in Charlestown, New Hampshire. They were our sponsor for one of our events where we had fights and people were winning nerd prizes like Warhammer miniatures and Dungeon Dragon books and Magic the Gathering cards, those types of things. And they've told me already that they plan on being a sponsor like that again next year. And so they're an awesome place, and I recommend going there if you're into that type of stuff and finding those types of products. And and thank you to any individuals who are interested in getting involved with us. Just reach out to me, worldunderwonder@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook and just reach out to the group, Vermont Armored Combat on Facebook. And if you find us there and you start talking to us, that'll be me responding to you as VAC. And we can see if you're going to fit the bill with us, because we don't take every single person into the club. You do have to fit into kind of our ideals, because there's no membership fees to be inside of our club. It really is like a social club, and then we also take part in Armored Combat together. But the social aspect is really important to us. So just inclusion, diversity, making sure that people don't feel like in order for them to exist, they have to hide who they are from you. Like, really, that's what it comes down to. And if you can be cool with that, then we can be cool with you. So, yeah. So thank you again. And I know this is kind of a short episode, but I wanted to keep it short just to kind of say that I'm back and that I'm going to be creating episodes weekly again. And we'll have more content for you next week, and hopefully start getting some more interesting guests on as well from some of these other groups that I've mentioned. So thank you. Bye.